Good morning, boys and girls. It's beer o'clock in the morning, and I'm over at my Swedish life coach's house, which I often do on Sundays. This is where we come for spiritual enlightenment, meditation, and so on, which we've been doing for us to be able to bring you the Calgary Flames in my new series where we do mid-season projections based on what my original predictions were for them, see how I've been doing on that, and see which way they're going from my perspective and from the team's perspective. In other words, the right way and the wrong way. I'm kidding. Not always right, just most of the time. Anyways, okay, so Calgary Flames. I had them not making the playoffs. I believe that their transition to Gullickson style is going to take a certain amount of time, and I wasn't really sure how long it would be, but they're transitioning actually fairly quick. I still think they likely will miss, but they're making a really good play at making it, and good for them. They have such huge talent, especially at forwards. This Kachuk kid, I just love watching him. They got a lot of players I just love to watch. Goudreau, Kachuk, Giordano. I just love watching those guys play. And Kachuk, I'm just falling in love with him more and more all the time. You guys are so lucky to have him. For the future, for me, if it were me, I would just basically stay status quo. I certainly wouldn't give up draft picks to try to get more players to make a run in the playoffs. I would just use the team that I have. And actually, if I can, there's a couple players like Weidman that I would actually trade for younger players or draft picks, even at this deadline, even if you think you're going to make it. I know that would be unpopular with Calgary Flames fans because when it's your team, you want to make the playoffs and them to do everything they can to make it. And I understand that. I would probably, if it was my number one. If it was the Oilers, I would in my heart want to do that too. But my head says that's not the right thing to do. I'm really surprised by Elliott's struggle this year. I don't know exactly where that comes from. But he was always inconsistent. That's the reason why St. Louis didn't give him his number one. So it's just continuing from what he was before. I imagine he'll start picking it up and have better games. But I don't know if I talked about it last time, but this Johnson pickup was fantastic. I mean, he was showing steady progression all through his career. And in Buffalo, it really started to peak, and they did well to pluck him when they did. They got him for a pretty good dollar, and he is playing as almost like one of the top 7 or 8 goalies in the league right now for a very good price. I guess that's pretty much it for Calgary. I don't know if there's too much more that can be done. They still need to, at the draft table, they need to get defensemen for sure. They got to stockpile that. Although they do have 1 or 2 Swedish defensemen that are showing signs of being pretty good players, but nothing that's going to be like that's going to be a for sure. So they have to do something in that area, and that's why I would, if I can get a second for Weidman, I would. Even if you're on the cusp of making the playoffs this year. And basically that's because even if they do make the playoffs, they don't have a team to make a real run for the cup. You can fluke out like Carolina did that one year when Edmonton made the finals, and they really shouldn't have. That was a real fluke, but that's rare, and it certainly isn't something you want to bank on and throw away draft picks in a rebuild while you're still kind of rebuilding to acquire, to hope to happen. That's pretty much why I wouldn't go that direction. I hope you've been enjoying this new series that we've been having. I think I'm going to be doing Detroit next. I'm not very good with my alphabet, so but if it is, it is my new series. And if you're enjoying this, please go to my NHL Pearls of Wisdom on YouTube, like and subscribe so we can keep this ball rolling. that's my full 42, and I'm going to do probably. I think I'm going to take my life coach out for a special night of Pilates. I think that's what I'm going to do, and we are going to Pilates the night away. That's my full 42. Have a great day, everybody. Lots of love to you.